Let's observe what happens the exact second a person loses their temper. If someone insults you and you snap, or if bad news hits and you fall apart, you hand over the controls to your own mind. You become entirely predictable, and a predictable person is incredibly easy to manipulate. To build actual invulnerability, you have to adopt a different baseline. You need a relentless, unshakable mindset. You need the psychological armor that strategists like Thomas Shelby are known for. It requires you to turn perfectly cold precisely when everyone else runs hot. Today, we are going to build your personalized 3-part daily control protocol. You will need a notebook and a mirror. We will lock down your mornings, train your physical reactions, and map a strict trigger system. Taking stoicism out of theory and putting it into a daily practice system flips the power dynamic in your life. Instead of being battered by emotional chaos, you absorb the pressure, calculate your next move, and turn aggression into your permanent advantage. This timeline charts the flow of a typical morning. Most people roll over, grab their phone, and immediately start reacting to emails, texts, or social media. Compare that to the protocol path below it, waking at dawn and moving straight into deliberate, planned action. Choosing that top path extracts a heavy biological tax. Spiking your dopamine with cheap digital thrills the minute you open your eyes wires your brain to chase immediate gratification for the rest of the day. You force yourself to start the morning in a defensive, reactive stance. To correct this, open your notebook and write down one physically or mentally demanding task. Set your clock exactly 1 hour earlier than your normal wake time. We are keeping this entirely binary. 5 a.m., wake up. 5:05, execute 50 push-ups. This schedule is absolute. Hitting the snooze button or glancing at a single notification before that assigned task is finished breaks the protocol entirely. To guarantee execution, take your phone or alarm clock and plug it in on the exact opposite side of your bedroom. When it rings, you are forced to stand up and walk across the room, killing the physical impulse to stay comfortable in bed. By forcing yourself into discomfort the moment you wake up, you prove to yourself that you govern your base impulses. You establish an untouchable psychological baseline that makes the rest of the day's challenges look incredibly small. Moving to step 2. Your face is your fortress, and in a high-pressure situation, it operates as your primary weapon. You cannot allow an adversary to read your internal state or predict your next move based on your expression. The most common point of failure here is confusing a neutral, unreadable face with a tense, aggressive scowl. Sign to look physically intimidating broadcasts that you are stressed and actively overcompensating. This diagram shows the anatomy of a true stone mask. When you feel threatened, you instinctively tighten up your jawline and pull your shoulders tight toward your neck. Deliberately release that hold. Drop your jaw a fraction of an inch. Let your shoulders sink heavy down your back, and flatten your brow line into a completely smooth, neutral state. Take out your smartphone, open the front-facing camera, and physically practice this shift. Force an agitated, angry expression, and then watch yourself instantly drop back down into that relaxed, steady baseline. Lock in steady, slow breathing through your nose. When you are engaged in a confrontation, hold direct eye contact. Do not shift your weight, do not look away, and strictly control your blinking. Giving an opponent zero emotional feedback is terrifying to them. While they scramble and raise their voice trying to figure out what you are thinking, you remain safely behind your mask, analyzing their exact weaknesses. No matter how perfectly you lock down your mornings or control your face, the world will test you. A coworker will criticize you, someone will insult your pride, or a deal will collapse without warning. When that impact hits, your non-negotiable circuit breaker is the 3-second breath rule. You must force a 3-second gap of total silence between their action and your response. This flowchart illustrates exactly how that logic loops. An aggressive stimulus hits. Instead of taking the default path to an emotional reaction, you route directly into 3 seconds of silence, giving your brain the necessary time to formulate a calculated response. Open your notebook again and write down your 3 most common personal triggers. Next to each one, script your exact physical response. Hold eye contact. Deploy 3 seconds of silence. Do not change your expression. In any confrontation, the first person to speak out of defensive anger automatically loses the power dynamic. They expose their hand. By holding your ground and weaponizing silence, you make the aggressor deeply uncomfortable. They will often panic to fill that quiet void, frantically backtracking or exposing their own deep insecurities without you having to say a single word. That is why silence acts as a lethal strategic weapon. It operates as an invisible shield, absorbing the momentum of an attack and immediately reflecting the pressure back onto the attacker. You now have a complete operational system. You have the Dawn discipline to conquer your impulses, the stone mask to guard your intentions, and the strategic silence protocol to handle direct attacks. You are no longer reacting to every minor inconvenience like a predictable target. You are functioning as a disciplined, calculated operator who dictates the terms of engagement. Here is your immediate mission. Cut out exactly one weakness today, and the very next time someone triggers you, do not snap back. Deploy your strategic silence. Let them talk, let them wonder, and let them realize they can no longer control you. Subscribe to the channel and return to this protocol the moment your discipline starts to waver. True legacy is never loud or flashy. It is built quietly in the shadows, day after day, through absolute control.